everybody. Welcome to another live stream. I promised you 3 streams a week, and you're going to get them. Tomorrow's stream will be very early, though. It'll be around 11:30, like around 11:30. So for those of you who live overseas, it's your time to shine. So it's a delight to see everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I think it's adorable that you're calling each other Barbie and Ken in the comments. Oh, I love it. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken. And I think that I love someone asking if there are any Allens here. By the way, Jonathan Groff was the original choice to play Alan. And while I love Michael Cera and he's great in the movie, I would have preferred Jonathan Groff just because I'm a huge Jonathan Groff fan. Gareth, that's so generous of you to gift 10 memberships. Also, Jerome, always gifting a membership, so kind. And so it's so nice to see everybody. As you know, I gift 5 memberships at the beginning of every week. So I did that on Monday, and I'll be doing it again next week. I'll do it every week. So we have some really exciting stories to discuss today. When I posted I was doing this live stream, somebody was like, what? What kind of topics are these? Welcome to the strike, baby. This is what it's like. Josh, thank you for gifting a membership. It's like just completely ground the news cycle to a halt. So that's why we're doing a strike update today, so you can see what people are talking about. And then, of course, everybody's talking about Barbie still, not only because it's very popular, but because there's nothing else to talk about, which is benefiting Barbie. Barbie's like, woohoo, you know, like she's the only game in town. I mean, Oppenheimer too, but Oppenheimer just isn't as exciting. You know, I mean, it's doing well, but it's just not as exciting. Big League Chew, thank you for gifting a membership. Matt Stone, thank you. Any memberships that you can gift are appreciated. And as I've said, it's one of the nicest ways you can support this channel because you not only support the channel, but you make somebody else a member. Writer Boy, thank you for gifting a membership. So the way that this works, Mika, I'm sure Tom Cruise is very upset. I mean, it's his own fault for opening his movie here, but boy, did it not work out for him. All right, so we have the 3 stories of the day. Then, of course, and so please hold your questions in each story for the end of that segment where I'll open it up. I mean, your question might catch my eye, but I'm not going to feel that I need to answer your question, even if it's a super chat, until we're in a question section. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Frederick. And then at the end of the stream, as always, the last 10 minutes are dedicated to Ask Me Anything. So if you have if you have a question that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about, that's when you want to ask it. All right, so here we go. All right, hold on 1 second. Boop! Oh, Barbie! We're living in a Barbie world. Hey, Big League Chew, welcome. I'm glad you can super chat. That's very kind of you, very generous of you. So we're living in a Barbie world. I think we were all so nervous that this movie was not going to do well. The haters were predicting it would plummet as soon as everybody found out what it was really about. And I have to tell you, based on previous movies' performances, I think we were all kind of scared about that. We were like, oh no, it's got a heavy message in it that's strongly feminist. What will happen? It's not slowing down at all. It's incredible. This is so exciting. This is the first movie that hasn't been destroyed by haters. And I think hopefully it'll encourage other people to go back out there and tell really exciting stories in different spaces because the movie can still do well. Barbie has not slowed down at all during the week. It is just making so much money every single weekday. It's at $500 million already, less than a week of release. From Friday to Wednesday, it's already at $500 million worldwide. It's definitely going to get to $1 billion. The question is, how far past $1 billion can it get? This is very, very exciting. I'm kind of interested in seeing it again. It's a really fun movie. It's a great movie for repeat viewing. And it's going to hit $300 million domestic by the end of the weekend, which is huge. And that's only its second weekend. I mean, that's domestic only. There are a lot of movies right now that's close to their worldwide total. And like we're talking Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones. I mean, it's just really, really incredible. Now, of course, everybody's wondering about a Barbie sequel. And I think that a lot of people are like, don't do it, don't do it. I have mixed feelings about it, but let me just tell you the truth of the matter. When anything makes this much money, they're going to make a sequel. Thank you, Jordan, for gifting a membership. I hope it's similar to the way they've done Joker. Joker is a movie that was brilliant and also, by the way, had an incredibly strong message, but was still very fun. So, I got the soundtrack to Barbie, Kevin. I pre-ordered it on digital. I never do that, but I was going through digital movies to find Venture Brothers, which I didn't love. It was okay. But I saw Barbie in the top list, like top 30 on iTunes, and I was like, what the heck? I want to watch it a lot. I'm going to buy it now. So I did that. I pre-ordered Barbie. Maybe we'll do a watch along when it comes out on digital because I'm very excited for this. So anyway, they're going to make a sequel. And I hope that, Joker, they took a long time to make a sequel. And so I hope, Blix, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I hope that they maybe follow the Joker blueprint, which, by the way, is from the same studio. So that would be great. So they could do it. I do feel there's a Barbie sequel out there. And I think that Greta Gerwig would have to be the one to make it. I don't even want, that's right, Cosmics. Take your time, Greta. I don't even want to consider it unless Greta Gerwig's willing to do it. Just like I wouldn't want anyone else but Todd Phillips to do Joker too. So let her take a break. She's probably she has to do these Narnia movies. Who knows how long that's going to take. That's a bit of a bummer. If I were Warner Brothers, I'd be like, what's it going to take for you to maybe not do Narnia? So let's see. I feel that Narnia is a bit of too much of a pivot because she's not going to be competing in the box office. So I'm a little annoyed about that. Cesar, thank you for gifting a membership. Are you the same Cesar who's so supportive of me on Twitter? If so, you look kind of the same. If so, I really appreciate it. That always means a lot to me. So anyway, I think you're definitely getting a Barbie sequel, but the question is when and who's going to be involved. I'm very, very excited. Oh, Lucas, somebody else can make Narnia. I'm not taking Narnia away from you. Or maybe we could just delay Narnia. But anyway, the Mattel CEO is like, oh, we're getting into the movie business. He described the Barbie movie as a watershed moment for the company. And that, I believe, is true. But I'm awfully nervous about his movie plans because let's just say Hasbro has really struggled. It is very difficult to do this, so I would be nervous. So let's talk about the few movies that he's already revealed are in development. Because these aren't new deals, because of course the writers and actors strike, but these are things that were already being worked on before the strikes and before Barbie even came out. But now they're quick to share their plans because they're like, oh, you liked Barbie? There's more coming. And I'm like, none of this is on the level of Barbie. And you can tell me what you think. In fact, we'll do a poll as to what you think. I know what the result's going to be. Do any of these Mattel movies sound good? Anyone can vote in a poll. You don't have to be a member. The first is Polly Pocket. The second is Hot Wheels. The third is Astronaut Matt Mason. I've never even heard of that. We'll go over all of these. And then all three. No, let's do, nope, not Barbie. I can only do 4 options, I'm afraid. Okay? Is Barney Mattel? I don't know if Barney's Mattel. All right, let's go through these. All right, so Polly Pocket was the one that got the most traction. With Lily Collins, of course, who stars in the very popular Emily in Paris on Netflix, starring as everyone's favorite pint-sized heroine, Polly Pocket. She fits in your pocket. Her whole world does. Polly Pocket is basically Barbie, but miniature. Polly Pocket has never appealed to me, although I do know some people who like it. And then Lena Dunham directing. I think maybe directing, writing. That is Phil Collins' daughter, Mika. That's true. I like Lily Collins. I think she's pretty good, Maybe she, like Margot Robbie, is just looking for the right project. And I have to say that Lena Dunham, I liked Girls. I thought that Girls, her debut show, which put her on the Hollywood map, I thought it was pretty good. And it really gave us some huge stars who've come on to be really quite big. So I kind of liked Girls. But I do feel that Lena Dunham did totally torpedo her career. And I have zero faith in her ability to walk the very fine line between creativity and commercialism that Greta Gerwig danced on. Greta Gerwig was just an Olympic spectator sport. It was so amazing. But I think Lena Dunham is going to totally pull a She-Hulk if I had to predict. I think she would not be a good choice for Polly Pocket. But here's the worst thing. This looks just like Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie for Barbie. It's the exact same dynamic. And I think that's ridiculous to undercut Barbie like that. I'd be like, you can't make a Barbie 1.5, there's Barbie. I don't want any a Polly Pocket. I don't care who's directing it. I don't care who's starring in it. We're doing Barbie. And so I think this is a huge mistake. particularly because of who they've picked. Then Hot Wheels with J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams is still around. That's right. He got the deal with Warner Brothers for what was worth $500 million and never did anything. You know, he's still kind of developing some projects, but what a disaster. And I mean, he's getting paid to do nothing, which is amazing. And now he has this potential Hot Wheels movie. Now, I agree that of these three, Hot Wheels is probably the best, most likely to succeed property. But even this I'm nervous about because there's been way too many car movies, from Speed Racer to a gabillion Fast and Furious movies to the upcoming Gran Turismo, who I'm seeing that next week. No, not next week, the week after. I don't know. That movie seems kind of weird to me. I just feel like, what is this movie going to be about? You know? What is Hot Wheels about? Are they miniature cars? Are they big cars? What are they driving in? You know, like, I'm not saying that they can't come up with something that I would be happy with, but I think you know what's interesting? I feel that Hot Wheels is like as difficult to adapt as Barbie. So maybe they can do it. Although I gotta tell you, I don't think it's J.J. Abrams. I think the trick is to get, like, you know what? Get Edgar Wright, who did such a great job with Baby Driver. You know, get Edgar Wright over here. Get somebody like that to come and do this. And then the third thing is some crazy movie called Astronaut Matt Mason, based on a really old toy that they don't even manufacture anymore, with Tom Hanks. And my whole problem here is that Tom Hanks already did Apollo 13. So nobody wants to do, you know, another, and also he was in Toy Story. Thanks for gifting a membership, Mr. F. So he was already in Toy Story. So Tom Hanks has done astronauts, he's done toys. The whole thing seems to me like a ridiculous waste of time. So let me see what your votes are, and then I'll open this up to any questions you might have about this specific topic. So as I suspected, you all think this is not Barbie. 46% feel, nope, not Barbie. Whereas 35% agree with me and feel that Hot Wheels has the most going for it out of these properties. Then followed by Polly Pocket, with nobody, the fact that anybody voted for Matt Mason is impressive. So that's awesome. But yeah, I think, you know, I think Mattel should manage their expectations. I think I'm not sure if these are live actions, Britt. I think maybe Matt Mason isn't, but I think the rest of them are. Yeah, I think that Mattel should realize it's not always going to be this great, and they should just count their blessings. And I don't know if they should be doing as many interviews as they are. You know what Mattel should really be doing? Mattel should be focused on creating better toys and better merchandise to capitalize off the success of this movie. Because, you know, the I Am Knuff t-shirt or sweatshirt is great, but they don't have enough. They don't have enough. I think people are hungry for Barbie stuff. They just don't have enough. So that's really what they should be focused on. All right, does anybody have any questions? Oh, look at Brian thanking somebody for the membership. You guys are so sweet. All right, so Aneka, American Girl would be hilarious. I don't know if you saw the SNL sketch about that, but that was great. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, Gareth, He-Man. He-Man would, I think, be big, but I think, as I said recently, Kevin Smith's adaptation, I think, set the brand back a lot, and I just don't know about He-Man. Derek B says, since you're a Greta Gerwig fan now, I was a Greta Gerwig fan. Are you going to go back and watch Lady Bird? I did see Lady Bird. I'm glad you liked that movie, Derek. I thought it was pretty good. But my big Greta Gerwig movie before this was Little Women. I loved Little Women. I thought she did such a phenomenal job with it. It's become one of my Christmas movies. I'm a big fan of Little Women. Titans Mister says, it is mind-blowing that these studios don't do their market research. No one is asking for Dunham or Abrams on anything. Well, you know, I think a lot of times people in Hollywood drink the Kool-Aid, and they don't really pay attention to what the actual vibe is on this talent, which is more of a thing because of social media. Thanks for gifting a membership, Matthew. You know, back in the day, if people talked about you, that was enough. But I think that they're missing the nuance of why people are being talked about, and that's important. Already says, to me, the best thing about Greta Gerwig is the way she handles feminism in her movies. It feels respectful to everyone. She did a phenomenal job in Little Women. Yeah, I think she did. But, you know, everybody's picking on Amy Schumer, and I do agree that Amy Schumer would not have been a good choice for Barbie. But Amy Schumer has done some great commentary on feminism as well, in my opinion. And so I don't want all feminism stories to be the same, but I would argue and agree that Greta Gerwig is the most commercial, and I think the most inclusive, and the most positive. So, but I mean, not to hear some people tell it, but based on their reactions to Barbie. Mika says, I wonder if that points to a lot of this stuff is manufactured, right? If this hate is manufactured. That, I think the usual haters put out the same content they always do, but then they found out that this time most people weren't feeling it. But it's interesting. Mika says, do you think Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, Margot, and Ryan Gosling got back end points for Barbie? How much do you think they could get for the sequels? I think that Margot Robbie got back end points probably. If anyone did, it would be her, because she's not only the star and the biggest name, but also she produced it. So she has a business investment in the film. I don't think Greta Gerwig is big enough to get points, nor is Noah Baumbach. And I don't think Ryan Gosling is either. But I think for a sequel, I think Ryan Gosling could very much get his own movie. But for a sequel, I think that, I don't know about Noah Baumbach, but I think Gerwig, Robbie, and Gosling would all get back end and bigger paydays, for sure. Let's see here. What else we got going on here? Mr. F says, Matt Mason is the name of the semi-popular indie rock singer who writes about drug use quite a bit. That's funny. A different spelling of Mason, obviously. Hey, Major Tom to Ground Control, right? Tomb Lincoln says, Little Women is one of my favorite movies as well. I don't think her adaptation can be topped. I agree. Hard agree. Sean Turner says, I feel Barbie just should be an Elf with no sequel. I would have liked to have seen a sequel to Elf, quite frankly. I mean, it's a shame they never could get a good one, and that's why Will Ferrell never signed on for it. But I feel like Greta Gerwig I think that Elf was just a really lucky swirling of events. But I don't think Jon Favreau had anything he particularly wanted to say. But I think because Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie are so invested in Barbie, I think they could think of something else that they want to say. Big League Chew says, Uno would be a great business movie. I don't know anything about Uno. Let's see here. Franco says, I'm super conservative and I liked the movie and absolutely loved Ryan as Ken. That's great to hear, Franco. I'm really happy. I feel the movie is so positive in general and about guys I just think it's very odd. I was worried about it too. Maybe it's people commenting on it having not seen it. Because when I just heard what was in the movie, I was nervous. But when I saw it, I thought it was perfect. I was like, oh, it's perfect. Oh, Derek, Jennifer Coolidge in Barbie 2 would be pretty great. That's a good idea. Jack says, what about Trixie Mattel for the sequel? I'm not sure. I think that Harry Neff was maybe a better choice. I think that, I don't want celebrity cameos, and I feel like Trixie Mattel would maybe fall in that category, with all due respect. Maybe she could be used to promote the film to some degree, Haunted Autumn says, Grace, you might not see this, but I had to say that shirt is... thanks, Haunted Autumn. I'm glad you like my shirt. This is actually a German company, Mark Kane. I got this a few years ago. Let's see here. Alien Moose says there are going to be so many actors wanting to jump on the Barbie 2 train. Toot toot. Well, I think everyone who said they weren't available due to scheduling conflicts sure is upset. Imagine how Jonathan Groff feels that he couldn't do Barbie. I have a friend who's also a Jonathan Groff fan, but not as big as me, but was like, he needs to be in the Ken movie. And I was like, yes, he does. Hey, KBTV, greetings to you in Germany, home of my shirt. That's funny, Swamp Thing. Barbie versus Cindy for the sequel. It would be funny if they had a joke about that. For those of you who don't know, Cindy was the UK version of Barbie, but she was very UK. She was great, and she had much more detailed furniture and fashions. She was almost more of a collector's type of doll. So that would be really funny. Hey, Ben 10, thank you for that. All right, let's move on to the next story of the day. All right, hold on. Story number 2. Boop. All right, strike update. Yep, the strike started a little after the 4th of July. It's still going strong right now. It got a second win from all the actors who are quite theatrical, by the way. Right? They're all like, woo, I want to give a speech. And some of their speeches are pretty good, but I think for the most part, nobody's really paying attention to them. So I do wonder how long they'll hold. I think that they're getting so little money and there's so much at stake here that they're going to hold for as long as it takes. And so are the studios, unfortunately. I wouldn't be surprised if you eventually need federal intervention because there's so much on the line for both of them in terms of money. I told you, Hollywood always boils down to money, and they're both in danger of losing copious amounts of cash. Although, you know, if the studio executives would pay themselves less millions, like still millions, but less millions, you know, everybody could be just fine. So that's one of the reasons that it's so frustrating. Now, that's right, Dre Films. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to put it in my notes. Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, did an incredibly generous thing. He did a multi-million-dollar donation to SAG. And the point of that is that SAG will give out like $6,000 checks to people in need who are actors who don't have a lot of money that they can lean back on, like big stars like The Rock. So they get anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000 checks to help pay their rent and their medical expenses. And The Rock gave that, so he gave enough money for just thousands of actors to be supported and to be able to live out to live out the strike. And that was just incredible that he did that. The SAG put a call out to all the major actors, all the big celebrities, but Dwayne Johnson's the one who stepped up. That's right, the hierarchy of power, Mika. It was really an incredible thing to do. Voice Inject made the same joke. I love it. And it was just really, really kind of him to do. And I think it showed that while, of course, big stars are making money and they don't have to be, they're more worried about, I think, the AI situation, they need to look out for their fellow struggling actors because they were once struggling actors. Everybody knows what it's like to be at the bottom when it comes to being an actor because that's where everybody starts. So I thought that was really wonderful that Dwayne Johnson did that. He was a great guy. That's right, Amparo. Dwayne Johnson really struggled when he was getting into wrestling. You know, I believe wasn't he unhoused for a while, in fact. It means a lot to him, the struggle. And so that's really kind. Mika, Tom Cruise would be a wonderful person to donate, but yeah, he should. All right, so anyway, the actors have said that they're willing to go back to the negotiating table, but the studios said, nope, not going to happen. So I've been speaking to some people I know in the industry, and the general consensus is that the strike will definitely last till Labor Day. Then the question is, will people freak out, or will they continue to not budge, right? Because they're kind of playing chicken with each other. The industry feels that it'll be October before a deal is made. So that's through October. That's 3 months basically. July, August, and September, maybe even 4 of the industry being shut down. That's pretty big. So that's when people think that it's going to happen. I think it'll be longer. I mean, it would be great if it was October. I mean, again, the news cycle has been shut down. It sucks. Also, I do think that actors not being available to promote their projects is having an effect. I think Haunted Mansion is affected by not having its actors available. Look what a boost Barbie got out of that PR campaign on social media. So I think it is a problem. I think Blue Beetle I think all the August movies are going to be affected. I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles isn't getting as much attention. The Meg, too, isn't getting enough attention. Gran Turismo, all these movies, I think, are really suffering from not having a red carpet, from not having the interviews. It's not good. It's really a problem. So that's a very successful strike technique, quite frankly. We'll see if any movies move. Again, I don't expect them to start moving until after Labor Day. Then I think you might see a couple more move. Like for instance, Killers of the Flower Moon isn't going to move because it's an Apple movie, and they're like, it basically promotes itself. And Leonardo DiCaprio never really does a lot of publicity anyway, quite frankly. So they're like, it's fine. But I think other movies will move. I think they'll move, and so the rest of the year could get kind of empty. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. It really depends on what happens with the strike. So also, Bob Iger. That's why I included his picture there. Somebody said that Zazie was very quiet. I think it was you, Mika. Zazie is very quiet because he's like, hey, finally, there's a CEO more hated than me. Why on earth would I go back there and grab that badge of honor? And there was, in fact, an article in the Hollywood Reporter with the industry wondering, why did Bob Iger do that to himself? Why did he torpedo? He was one of the few executives that had a pretty good image, which is incredible considering the fact he has done some not great stuff in the past. And he has become the face of the strike. Bryan Cranston gave a very impassioned speech in Times Square the other day for the actors' strike, and he called out Bob Iger by name. So did Ron Perlman. Well, he didn't call him out by name, but he basically did when he kind of insinuated that people should burn Bob Iger's house down. It was incredible. It was, that's right, a badge of dishonor, Slow-mo. I mean, it's just incredible that Bob Iger did that to himself. And some people have speculated that Bob Iger might be really down about what a hole Disney is in. And I think, it's very different than, of course, the last time he was running the company and he could seemingly do no wrong. And now it seems wherever he goes, it's a problem. And so I think that's getting to him. But you know what separates the winners from the losers? The people who can take the heat. And you can't let yourself fall like that. You can't let it get to you like that, particularly when you're in an on-air interview on television. And I think his battle with the far right is just really, really difficult. I think it's never ending, it's vicious, and I think it's having a huge effect on the company. And it's just mentally exhausting. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, he just renewed for more. But I don't know if if he'll even feel that's still a good idea because now he's so hated, right? Maybe he should just do a year, if that. I mean, they really should be looking for somebody else. So we'll see how the actors go. We'll see if the studios can break them. But it's going to be. I think right now everybody's like, whatever. It's August. Although it sucks for the productions that have to go on a huge delay. Deadpool 2, Deadpool 3, Mortal Kombat 2, Wicked, a 4-month break for these projects. They're going to have really hugely inflated budgets, just like Mission Impossible, just like Indiana Jones, because they have had to go on such a long break and they're going to have to start all back up again. All right, does anybody have any questions about this story specifically before we get to the AI story? Danny, I agree. I think Loki's going to be delayed. Graymo says, hi, Grace. I read that soaps on TV can still continue filming while the strike is on. Well, here's the thing. I do feel they're giving out too many vouchers to let productions go. But basically, they're giving vouchers to productions that aren't with the major studios because that's who they have a contract with and that's who they're negotiating with. But I do agree that some of the indies that they're giving contracts to are going to eventually sell to these studios. So it doesn't really seem very fair to me. Let's see. Gamer on a Budget says, Bob Iger battling against far right while sounding quite far rightish himself. That's a great way to put it, Gamer. Mika, that's right. Hugh Jackman has to stay in shape. He's got to keep doing the curls and doing that routine, that regimen. Maybe he's like, give me a month's heads up. And maybe he just takes a little bit of a break. Harlequin Dove says, do you think there is a chance Hollywood will die? Oh, Harlequin Dove. No, I don't think it'll die. I think it's being reshaped. Wait till we talk about AI. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. It's just going through a really difficult time, just like the rest of the world. And I think this is going to happen everywhere. Although the UPS got what they wanted, which was bigger wages and air conditioning in their trucks. And the fact that they didn't have air conditioning in their trucks is appalling. I Don't Care Bear says, I was on a photo shoot yesterday and was surprised how the strikes are affecting the whole team, even though we're in the UK. Yeah, I think actors really, really changed the game. And writers desperately needed them to go on strike, so I'm glad that they did. Danelle says, what's award season going to look like if actors can't campaign? It's going to look really bad. And, I saw one studio person say that they felt that the actors would cave when they realized that maybe they wouldn't be able to campaign for awards because they want their awards. And I thought that was a horrible thing to say. I'm like, 1 year of awards lost is going to be fine, considering they don't want to not get paid anything and have you make all the money off their work. It's not like there isn't money. There is money. They're just not giving it to the people who participated in creating the content. And then also being replaced by a computer. Dre Film says, do you think studios could turn to non-union talent? No, I don't. because I think nobody would watch it. And we'll talk about that with the AI situation in a moment. Don't cross a picket line, just like the nanny, aka Fran Drescher, did on her show. Never cross a picket line. It's a really bad thing to do in life. You should never do it. Raphael says, you think Will Smith should ride this on the front line? I don't, Raphael, could Will Smith use the actors strike to improve his image? I think he'd probably be too nervous that they would say, we don't want your help, which is, cancel culture. That's definitely a conversation happening right now with the whole Kevin Spacey thing, Johnny Depp, Ezra Miller, Jonathan Majors, and I think it's still a mystery. Jojo Bell says, did we talk about all the social media people scabbing and then saying they aren't? Well, Jojo Bell, I think that depends who you're talking about. And, it would definitely be scabbing to do a paid campaign from any of the studios. 1,000%. I don't know, Jojo Bell. I mean, I don't know who you're talking about. And I think somebody who just does comedy sketches is maybe that's the line. Let's see here. Gamer on a Budget says, forgive my ignorance, Grace, but where the hell are the directors while the actors, Gamer, the directors made a deal. And many people feel their deal isn't as good, but they claim that it is. And that's the issue. The directors renewed their contract. So, and I think a lot of people were very upset because a lot of people felt they sold the writers out, which they kind of did. But luckily, it's okay because the actors went on strike. If the actors had also cut a deal, the writers, it would have been just a disaster for the industry. Amparo says there is money enough to share, but the executives are greedy. I would agree with that. I think there's definitely enough money to share, no question. Votuli, you caught up. That's fantastic. I love it. Hey, Vlad. Nick Dean says people are consuming more short-form content like TikTok now anyway. I think a big break from TV and film could be bad. No, I think people will always respond to good content. And once good content comes back, everyone will be interested. Look at Barbie and Oppenheimer. Big League Chook says, is it possible the projects will be canned because of this? Well, I did hear that a lot of people are using this to get out of contracts, the studios. One of the things they liked about the writer's strike is that they could break their contracts because of force majeure, the force majeure clause, things beyond, look at Gramos gifting 20 memberships, so generous. But I know they did that with writers and also to break the contract and then renegotiate it at a more competitive rate, that favors the studios. But I could see that maybe happening with some actors. I think some projects could fall apart for sure because they're just delayed too long. Look at all those people getting a membership thanks to Gramos. It's raining memberships. I love it. Oh, I love it. All right, let's move on to the third story of the day, and then we'll do Ask Me Anything. All right. Boom, baby. Oh, so the studios will not speak to the writers or the actors, but they are really going on a hiring frenzy for who? Artificial intelligence executives. So the reason this got a lot of attention is that Netflix decided to put out an open call for a position for heading up their artificial intelligence division that pays $900,000. Who publicly lists a job like that? It's just horrible. You're supposed to have that in private, and you have a headhunter go out there and get somebody to take the position. Votuli, that's an interesting question if it includes stock. The reason that Netflix can pay such competitive salaries is that a large portion of most Netflix salaries are indeed stock, which is why when Netflix's stock tanked about a year or so ago, remember when they started to lose some subscribers and their stock tanked? People at Netflix freaked out in particular because that was a very large part of their revenue, of the value of their job. Hey, Rick71, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. So stock is in particular valuable to Netflix. Oh, same with Amazon. That's interesting, Mika. So I'm not saying it's $900,000 up front, but it is a job that's of the value of $900,000. And also Netflix has gotten their stock situation back under control. So it's all good for this job. But that was pretty disgusting considering the fact, thanks, Simon, I am staying hydrated. It was pretty disgusting that they don't even want to pay a livable wage to actors, yet they're willing to pay somebody $900,000 to head up their artificial intelligence division. So a lot of jobs are actually going out right now for AI. Are they trying to find a workaround to the actors and writers, right? That's pretty scary. And they're all very high-paying positions, like $100,000 or more. And again, that's in stark contrast with what they're willing to pay the actors and the writers. Disney is leading the charge with AI hires in various departments. Netflix is also hiring a lot of AI people. However, they've already long used AI to make development decisions. So is Warner Brothers. And Sony is hiring an AI ethics expert, I guess, to tell them what's okay to do. But I have to say, seeing how poorly everybody reacted to the artificial intelligence Secret Invasion opening credits, I think the ethics expert should say it's not a good idea. So we'll see what they decide to do with this. I think they're going to try and sneak it past you and for you not to know that you're watching something that's created with AI. However, I feel the whistleblowing on this will be absolutely insane, because as soon as anybody gets a whiff of AI going on, they're going to tell. Because just like they're telling on the VFX abuse and everything like that. Because the thing is that while AI could do some of the smaller jobs maybe, how do you think you break into the industry? Smaller jobs are for people who break in, and then you work your way up to the more important jobs that are, maybe a little bit harder for AI to do. So if you take out those jobs, you're going to absolutely kill the opportunities to break into these businesses. Hey, Jason says, I wonder if this is a ploy. See what happens when your wheel is too squeaky. Let's see. Ronnie, I don't like AI either. I think it's really a problem. I think every industry is going to be dealing with this. It's just the beginning. But let's see. I think the audience, I hope the audience, just the way they reacted to the Secret Invasion situation, will be very against these AI products. I don't think anybody would be interested in robot art. How could a robot ever come up with Oppenheimer or Barbie? And that's like the whole point of those two movies, which is when they couldn't have come at a more perfect time. Barbie and Oppenheimer are totally different. They are very human in their messaging. They're very reliant on writing and actors. It's just really great. Alex, you want robot Grace? AI is bad. Don't do it. I can't think of what I want Robot Grace to say. Let's see here. I'm glad you guys like Robot Grace. Does not compute. Jerome says, I don't like the extremist reactions for and against AI. It's here and it needs regulating to be used right. With change comes losses and new jobs. Well, I don't know, Jerome. What job would AI create? Here's the problem. It creates like an AI overlord, but that's a high-paying job, and the jobs that it eliminates are, for the most part, low-paying. That's right, Layla. AI would never have come up with that park bench scene. The Mattel wanted to cut. All right, so you can ask questions about AI, and then we'll move on to the Ask Me Anything. Alwyn says, hope AI goes the way of the NFT. Yeah, right? It's equally stupid. I love you too, Alwyn. Adil says, AI could enhance localization of international content using example deep vision for synchronized high-quality dubbing. Well, Adil, it sounds to me like you should apply for some of those AI jobs, because I have no idea what you just said. But it sounded like you should maybe have an AI job. Thanks, Poke. That's right, Just Josh. The rich are definitely going to use it to their advantage. They're going to use it to bring down their expenses. Suzanne says, thank you kindly for always entertaining us and sharing your perspective. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Heather S. says, humans drive economies, not AI. But that's the problem, Heather. There's worry that they're going to create the universal income situation, where it really is like WALL-E, where the government just gives you an allowance and then you just become a consumer. That's what was one of the best messages about Barbie. That Barbie says, I don't want to be an idea or a product. I want to be the person who comes up with that. And I want to be in on the conversation. I want to be part of life. I want to be part of what's happening, what's moving and shaking. And I think that everybody feels that way, which is why the movie is speaking to so many people. Let's see. All right. Does anybody else have any questions about this? I'm against a basic income too, Josh, just because I feel that it will destroy society. I mean, I certainly am very much in favor of a high minimum wage and lots of different levels of jobs being available, but I'm very against basic income. All right, let's go to the Q&A. Oh, Jacob, congrats on your diamond. It looks good on you. All right, Q&A time. Here we go, 10 minutes. It's 5:51. You can ask me anything you want until 6:01, and then I'll do some shout-outs. Chad says, Grace, I know you don't like novels, but will you pick up Miles Morales Suspended? Probably not, to be honest with you, because I don't like novels. But I'm glad to see these doing well. Let's see here. I love Miles. I support him in every way except buying his new book. Hey, Dory, thanks for gifting a membership. It's always good to see you. Davey B. Jones says, what do you think about Twitter's rebrand to X? Has Elon finally killed it, or will it not have a big effect? I think it's going to change back, Davey. I've been talking to a lot of people about this week. I think that Elon just did this to get attention. I think that he's just trolling society. And I really question, it's very effective, but I question what the repercussions of that will be in society. Who wants to live in a troll world? I think that for a while there were trolls, of course, and it's an effective way to generate discussion and engagement. But for Elon Musk to be king troll and for Twitter to be only about trolling, I think is kind of a crummy way to live. I don't like it. So I wish people would stop paying attention to his whims because he's just full of it. Mandy says, Percy Jackson has some gay themes with a very important male character having a crush on Percy Jackson. Do you think Disney will go all out with this? Well, if that's from the book, I certainly hope that they do because the fans are going to call them on it. But I would say based on the diversity of the casting, I think that they will. Let's see here. Hold on. My Do says, insane to see how many people are so invested in wearing pink. It kind of reminds me of when Pokemon Go was released and everyone was so unified. That was fun. I didn't even play that, but it was fun to see the crowds and everybody going around having a good time. I think everybody loves an event. I mean, I dressed up in pink. It was fun to do. Atlanta Snapback. What a cool name. Says, is there any truth to Aquaman being delayed until 2024? James Wan sounded frustrated about all the changes to his movie. I feel so bad for him. I feel bad too. It kind of torpedoed his directing career. He's still doing very well as a producer. But I like James Wan. I think he's very talented. I think the first Aquaman was good. But I think there is a chance that Aquaman... There's two things that could happen. They delay it, or they're like, these DC movies are tanking anyway. Let's just clear the slate. And maybe they move Dune, but they don't move Aquaman because there's no helping Aquaman, no matter when it comes out. Chris says, any thoughts on Russell Dauterman's XMen Designs? He has new XMen Designs. For those of you who aren't aware, Russell Dauterman is an artist who does a lot of the designs for X-Men, and he was also the artist on my comic book, Superbia. That was one of his first major gigs, which actually got him on the radar of Marvel and got him over to the X-Men editorial team. So no, I haven't seen them. I'll have to look them up after this because I'm a big fan of his work. Gamer on a Budget says, do you think AI could have approved Secret Invasion train wreck? Actually, I got to tell you, I think Secret Invasion seems like it was written by AI, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Danny says, hi, Grace, just upgraded to BTT Watch Along Club. When is the next Watch Along? It's on Sunday, Danny. I'm so glad you upgraded. We're watching They Cloned Tyrone on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the new Netflix movie, which everybody highly recommends. So I thought it would be fun if we watched it together. Buck's Basement says, hi, Grace, are you planning on covering One Piece? It's supposed to be a very big show for Netflix. I don't have any plans to cover it. I'm reviewing tomorrow Only Murders in the Building Season 3 and Harley Quinn Season 4, and I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. I was going to do a Haunted Mansion spoiler review, but nobody cares about Haunted Mansion, so I'm not going to do it. Let's see here. Mika says, what are your thoughts on Secret Invasion's finale's Rotten Tomato score being 13%? The writing's on the wall, Feige. KBTV, I did buy the new latest X-Men Hellfire Gala comic book, but I haven't read it. I still have it, though. It's on my iPad. I have to read it. Alien Moose Studio says, what are your thoughts on Universal cutting the trees? Well, if those of you who don't know, Universal decided to trim the trees outside one of their studios to remove the shade for the striking writers and actors. And that was pretty bad. Whoever came up with that, that's like some real Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life stuff. Juan says, hi everyone. Grace, what do you think of the UFO outing? Yeah, it seemed like we have UFOs, you know? I mean, like Sicily's on fire. Greece is on fire. You know, Canada was on fire because, you know, everybody said there was no such thing as environmental distress. And then the globe just like burst into flames this summer. So, you know, anything can happen. It's nuts. Alberto, Tokyo Vice was good. Oh, I should go back and watch that. I've been looking for something to watch. I should go back. I'm so ahead on everything that I'm like, I don't have anything to watch. And that was a good show. Brendan Mill, they were supposed to do a season 2. I don't know where that is. Brendan Millspouse says, do you think working with a questionable filmmaker as a PA is a bad idea? Don't want it to hurt future plans. Definitely, Brendan, because you can't put it on your resume and you're only going to be making toxic connections. I mean, it's just a waste of your time. Don't do it. Rick71 says, Grace, my daughter wants to see Barbie this weekend. She's 12. Do you think it's appropriate for her? I was concerned about the innuendo in the trailer. Well, Rick, only you can really make that decision because it's your daughter and you know her best and what her maturity level is. I would say I argued that 10 and up was okay for this movie. I think if it doesn't ever get any more intense than the innuendo in the trailer. So, you know, I mean, I think if you're really, really concerned about it, Rick, run out and see it beforehand, and just so you'll know for sure, and also so that you can talk to her about it afterwards and, you know, point her in what you think is the right direction. But I mean, I think it's fine for a 12-year-old. I mean, she's probably going to want to talk about it at school and stuff, so you should go. I think you'll have a really nice bonding experience with your daughter, quite frankly. Juan Gabriel says, hi, Grace, what do you think of the behind-the-scenes drama with Ariana Grande and her Wicked co-star? Whew. You know, I don't know too much about it, but I will say it's not looking good. I don't think that that's the kind of drama that movie wants. And so let's see how it breaks down. I haven't seen anyone upset with her. I think people are more disappointed. So I don't know. It's really bad. For those of you who don't know, Ariana Grande got a divorce and ended up with her co-star on Wicked, who says he was separated from his wife, but they really just got married and just had a baby. So it's pretty bad optics. And also, apparently, Ariana Grande was friends with them as a couple beforehand. So that's pretty bad. I think Ariana Grande should have thought of that, because I don't see her marrying this dude, quite frankly. So why would she do that to her reputation for like just a fling? Jordan says, who has a better future, DC or Marvel? Oh, you know, just to show you how messy it is for both of them. It's anybody's game. Let's see here. Ragu says that they brought their niece who was 10 and she loved it, but probably didn't take it all in. She just wanted lots of pink stuff and laughed a lot. Oh, that's good advice, Ragu. Thanks for doing that. Let's see here. Mike says, will Josh Brolin be in Deadpool 3? I haven't heard about it, but I'm trying to avoid Deadpool 3 spoilers, to tell you the truth. I saw those set leaks, and it spoiled such a great joke that I'm kind of annoyed about it, so I'm trying to stay away from it. David, I don't know if I want Scarlett Johansson as actress Barbie. I don't know if, again, I don't want big actors. I don't want cameos. I think with the exception of Margot Robbie, I think like using like B-level actors was a really great way to go. Adil says, Netflix's hefty investment in K-drama seems wise now with the strike, as I see rising fandom in my circle. Any K-drama enthusiasts here? I loved Squid Game, and I've liked some other stuff from there. So yeah, but that was even before the strike, you know? Alfie B says, I rewatched Barbie today as I had a noisy crowd on Friday. I'm sorry that happened and loved it so much. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you had a good time. I've been seeing some real horror stories about movie-going experiences for both Barbie and Oppenheimer, and it makes me sad. I wish that this is really on theaters to do a better job. Yves says, do you think Cillian Murphy is a lock as best actor? I think he'll probably be nominated, but I actually don't think he's going to win, to be honest with you. I mean, I have to see who else is in the category before I can say that definitively. My prediction, and we'll see, but my prediction is that Oppenheimer gets lots of nominations, but doesn't really win anything. So, but we'll see. Oh, look, Danielle's a big K-drama fan. Brian says, I heard Daniel Kaluuya is making a Barney movie along with Mattel. Do you think it could be like Barbie? I don't think so, because based on what I heard about that movie, it's a little bit more subversive, a little bit even more adult. I don't think it's the same. It's not engineered as commercially as Barbie was. Mandy says, Grace, I'm a huge fan from Peru. Hello, you are simply the best. Do you think you'll make a review when Percy Jackson releases? I'm not sure. I don't think Percy Jackson's going to be very successful, to be honest with you. I think it skews too young. But let's see. I mean, we'll see what happens. But to me, it just seems like another, series of unfortunate events or something like that. David Kyle says, thoughts on Emilia Clarke basically playing Rogue? Well, I don't know, because she can touch people. I don't know if she's basically playing Rogue. I don't think she did a very good job. Big League Chew, I probably won't review They Clone Tyrone, but I am going to watch it for the watch-along. And then Juan Carlos says, have you seen Justified with Timothy Olyphant? Maybe for Movie Math topic on Sunday. I did watch the first 2 episodes of the new Justified. I didn't totally care for it. I thought that his daughter, Timothy Olyphant's daughter, playing Raylan's daughter, his character's daughter, was kind of annoying, and it didn't have enough Raylan in it for me. It just didn't work for me for some reason. I didn't like it. But I'm glad that it's doing well, and I'm glad so many other people like it, and so I'm excited to see how it comes on the Nielsen ratings when we catch up to that. That's right. Thank you, Jacob. It is time for me to wrap up. Oh, Ace said, when Beyonce's next music film drops, will you review it like you did Black is King? Your review was so beautiful. Thank you. This album was dedicated to the LGBT community. I have to see how big a deal it is, Ace, and I think if there's people who are interested in a review, but if they are, I'll certainly keep it on my radar and consider it. But I'm so moved that you like my Black is King review. That means a lot. Tom322 says, should Transformers be re-envisioned to be more sophisticated like Barbie, or should the franchise be put on the shelf for a while? I would just put it on the shelf, to be honest with you. I think it needs a break. All right, Q&A. The Q&A is over. Time for shout-outs. Where are you? What are you doing? Just so I can say hi. Jackie Boy says, where do you rank Secret Invasion in the Disney Plus shows? The worst. I said it was the worst the other day, and people were like, it's not the worst. And then it was, definitely, and unequivocally. LAI, how am I staying away from sugar? It is very difficult to do. It's very hard. But the way that I do it is that I try and focus. I still try to have something delicious, but that fits in my diet, and that works out really well. I think if you're eating other good stuff that you like, you don't miss it as much. Oh, Lisa is working very late in Wisconsin, burning the midnight oil. Good for you. Smart Girl is having a late lunch and listening. Yay. Natalia is in Rio de Janeiro. Wandering Seth asked a question, even though it isn't the Q&A section. I'll check that out. I didn't hear about the Madeline Pryor Dark X-Men. I do love me some X-Men. Angela, I don't have superpowers, but thank you. I'm glad you think so. Oh, Wade's suggestion of fruit is very good. I eat a lot of blueberries for the antioxidants. I eat a lot of blueberries. Let's see here. That's right, Voice Inject. In fact, some company, I think there's a company in Japan or China that actually does have an artificial intelligence CEO. Alfie says, eating cheesecake, gonna watch Fantastic Mr. Fox after this from the UK. Oh, what a great afternoon, Alfie, or evening. Amparo Perez says, my work in Modesto, California, almost done with my 10-hour shift. Happy to keep you company and bring it home. Thomas Hastings says, my super chat has been malfunctioning all stream. Oh no, Thomas. But I'm glad I saw this, and I'm glad you're multitasking and doing chores around the house. Alwyn says, enjoying my first week here in Canada from the Philippines. Thank you for all the years of wonderful content. My pleasure. Have you moved there, Alwyn, or are you on vacation? Thanks, writer boy. I'm glad you like my hair. I did this myself. I'm very proud of myself. I spent like hours yesterday at Target finding products that are paraben and phthalate free and don't have any chemicals in them. And I found some really good stuff, and I'm really happy how it went. Oh, Angela, my ability to avoid sugar is a superpower? Well, then yes, I am anti-sugar of the X-Men. Josh Zeitler says, listening to you while on the treadmill at the gym. I love it. Good for you. Thanks, Dory. That's a really nice thing to say. Lewis Cook says, listening while making my lunch for work tomorrow in Virginia. Oh, that's so healthy of you, Lewis. Yeah, I try not to eat definitely no processed foods as well. And I heard that the Kens didn't eat any processed foods either. Apparently the Kens could eat sugar, but they couldn't eat anything that was processed. Hey, Tomas says, in bed, trying not to sleep. I'm glad we could help keep you up a little bit. And then Jack says, in the UK, planning my Lana Del Rey outfit for an upcoming fancy dress party. Oh, that's great. And then Owl Watch says, just hopped on. Oh, and it's pronounced Target. That's right, Target is Target. Hi, Ryan. And then Elia says, watch your salt levels. I do. I'm very salt sensitive, so I've always watched my salt levels. And then Treble Latrice says, just closed on my house in Virginia Beach, moving in next week. Oh, that's exciting. Congratulations. And then Alwyn says, Grace should be in Barbie too. You guys are really kind. You're so sweet. All right, everybody, I better get back to work. I'm going to, lots of videos going up tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow's stream will be earlier in the day. It'll be around 11 a.m. Whew, that's early. I better do a lot of work tonight because I got to make sure I hit the ground running tomorrow. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye-bye.